Welcome, everyone, to the Maple and Blossom podcast. I'm, I'm one of your hosts, Blossom. And as always, we have my co-clown, Maple.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. How you doing to their Giggles the Clown? You ready to get this episode going?
Yes. So we are on Liz and the Bluebird. This is the anime movie tied with the anime we just completed, Sound Euphonium. This, if you're trying to watch it in order, this one would be watched before season 3. So, but at the end of season 2, and then at the
Yep.
start of season 3, in the middle of those
Yep.
two season starts. Which is funny because those two seasons completely skip. Like you skip the whole story here.
And I'll tell you what, outside of a quick 5-minute episode, 5-minute parts of an episode in one of Sound Euphonium, don't even have to watch any of the series.
Wait, what?
Really doesn't help with this movie. And the
Oh
movie
yeah, this
really
like
doesn't help with the anime either. It's like
that. Yeah, I like so when I first was watching the movie, we watched
Yep.
this like we were supposed to actually. Fun fact, we were supposed to actually watch this one for like our 30th. And then I was watching halfway through this movie, and I'm like, first off, the pacing was slow. I wasn't really interested in it, and I was like, okay, well, why does everyone say this movie is so good, right? Like I don't have it very high. I just didn't like the movie, right? And then I found out it was part of an anime series. I was like, oh, it's part of Sound Euphonium. Okay. I was like, maybe if I watch the series, so we ended up
It'll
adding
make more
it
sense.
into our music month, right? And
Yeah.
then we're finishing our music month here with this. It actually just
With this
worked out
one.
perfectly somehow. But yeah, we're ending up. But after watching the anime, you're right. This movie makes actually less sense than it did before because some of the characters just don't act the same way they do in
No.
the anime, and I'm just like, it makes no sense because some of these characters are completely different, and I'm just like, and in fact, my biggest problem with this movie in particular, despite the anime having an abundance of characters that you know and love, this
Yeah.
anime focuses on two and rarely even uses anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's kind of annoying because an anime like Sound Euphonium thrived off of a huge cast.
Well, that's what I mean, because
And
they had like 90. Like in this season, they had like 90 people in it,
almost.
and they literally don't use any of them. It's like
they use two, and then they add like
yeah,
this weird storybook, which is called Liz and the Bluebird, which is the title of the movie,
yeah,
obviously. And it's almost like I understand the symbolism, but like if
yeah,
they cut that out and just added other characters that we already knew about and made like a better fleshed out story, this movie would have been better. But it's just like the whole storybook thing, like even with its symbolism, just it just doesn't do it for me, honestly.
yeah. And again, we'll go through it as we kind of
So yeah, let's
carry
actually
on
just
with
jump
it.
right into it before we kind of talk. And as a listener, you're probably thinking it's like maybe confusing, right? So, yeah, we'll get into the movie here.
Yeah.
I recommend that if you, well, it doesn't really matter, but if you do end up liking this this episode is going to be probably a little bit shorter than most of the ones we normally do.
Yeah.
But if you do like this, definitely go back and listen to our podcast episodes on Sound Euphonium season 1, 2, and 3, so you get the whole picture. We'd really greatly appreciate it. Anyway, let's jump right into the movie. So the movie starts out with we meeting a girl who is playing with animals in a forest. And
Yep.
let's kind of it before the scene jumps to Mizore sitting on the school steps, and she's just kind of waiting there. I don't know if she was waiting for the school to start. I don't actually know why she was just sitting on the steps.
Um,
Like,
she's
I don't know,
she's
did I
basically
miss
waiting.
something?
She's waiting for Nozomi, is what it is.
Okay, okay, because I was
It
like, the
it
next
seems
scene is
more
like
like a
Nozomi coming in, right?
yeah. It seems more like a constant routine with her. Is just
Okay.
waiting.
So yeah, Nozomi comes by and then she follows her up the steps, and
Yep.
they see a blue feather, and Nozomi picks it up and he gives it to Mizure, and you
Yep.
see them walking through the school, and they make their way to the band room, and they sit down and they talk about the musical piece that they are playing. Which I will say, I actually do like the piece that they do play throughout the movie. Of course, the
Yeah, so do I.
movie.
I think it's, to be fair, I think it's probably some of the best out of the whole entire series.
I would agree with you on that. Like the music in this movie is, yes, better than. You know what was off though? I don't know if it was just me, but the animation felt off.
Yeah,
Did
it
they use like a
definitely
slightly different art style?
yes. They went with it more, and I think what they were trying to do was showcase it more of like an artsy symbolism type um, movie, more so than anything, right?
Yeah,
So I
I
think
just
they
didn't
took
think it
more of like a
worked,
softer.
honestly.
Well, I think they took more of like a softer, supposed to be like a storybook kind of animation approach. Is more how it felt to me, right? It kind of reminded me a lot of Kiki's Delivery Service and those type, the
Yes,
Studio
no, I,
Ghibli.
I was feeling that too, exactly.
Yeah,
But like I said, if you watch the first two seasons or even all
it's
three
not.
seasons of
That's
this
that's
movie,
that's
it's
just it.
not the same standard. It's not as high quality as
No.
the regular anime.
Yep. No, exactly, and that's the thing, and everything was just so well done in the actual series that, like I said, going back and looking at it, you're kind of like, again, you're taken aback by it, and you're like, wait, this, I don't know, like you said, it just feels off, as like you said, as you kind of go through it. So they do again a lot of the back and forth between real life and the storybook
But oddly enough, they only do that
world.
like half of the movie though.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
at like the end, they kind of stop doing that. So speaking of stop doing that, I think my camera just died. What happened to my camera? Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Blossom is just kind of okay. Uh, okay. You continue. I'm going to get
Yeah,
something soup.
Boston's just there. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so like I said, they go back and forth between kind of like real life and the storybook. And we kind of see a bit of the storybook life where it kind of showcases more of Liz, and she's kind of like that loner, kind of lonely girl, like where she doesn't really have like a lot of friends. And it kind of showcases a lot of her early life where, she's working at a bread shop and she's kind of going through kind of like again her daily kind of routines where she's like back and forth like okay, I go to work, I come home kind of thing, right? And nothing really to kind of look forward to, but we then see them kind of go back to more of the real life where we see Mizure kind of again it's kind of like symbolism of kind of like Liz in a certain sense early on where she kind of seems like that lonely girl. She's kind of like sitting in the sidelines in the background, and she's more watching her friends kind of play, right? And again, she's kind of like looking and watching them, right? Um, and you kind of see her as like that extremely shy character, which again was this is the part that kind of threw me off too. was when you watch the anime, she's not this overly shy person who only talks to one character throughout the entire. There's another girl in the series who she's extremely close with, and there's other girls
That's the
that
thing. That's the thing I
w-
had also struggled with. Is like, yeah,
like she gets talked to all the time, and she's perfectly okay. But I find in a lot of these moments, she just gets like they're just like staring at them as they're like talking to her and stuff, right? And it's like I don't know, it's just a little odd when she's like going through it, right? And so, like I said, you're starting to see that early connection with her in the story, right? But again, it's the lonely girl, you know,
yeah, meets the
showcasing her
bluebird.
loner life.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you s- you see her in the story befriend the bluebird, who's the symbolism of that free spirit, right?
yeah,
And like I said, you can see the early comparisons, right? So as you're going through, like you see like little things like Mizure gets asked to go to, why don't you come to a cafe with us after, school, right? And she's kind of like, no.
yeah. For her section, yeah, her
Yeah, and she's
section
like,
meant to like, oh well, we should we're all going to cafe. You want to go to cafe? And
yeah.
she turns them down.
And they're trying to get her to open up, and they're trying to get her to do stuff, and they even ask Nozomi like tips, like, how do we get her to do this? Like, how can we get her to come with us, right? Because we keep
Mm.
asking her, and she just keeps saying no. It's just
So
time and time again, right?
you know what? I wouldn't have hated this if this was a prequel movie
Yeah.
before like Reina and Kumiko got to the school, because if she was this shy girl, okay, that would have been their first year, and then you could have been like, oh, okay, that's
And then
why.
she opens up, and then she opens up, and she goes
Yes,
through, right?
exactly. But yeah, because like you said, like early in the beginning of the anime, you see Yuko Natsuki walking into the music room, right? Like in the morning. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like, you see these other characters come in, and like I just think that I would have actually probably given the movie probably a higher score on it, I guess, than I did. Um, if it was a prequel, because I would have understood why she was acting so much different than what we are accustomed to her being like.
Well,
But
and that's exactly it. Or if they just kept it like how they were, and they didn't do this weird, change of personality and change of everything, right?
yeah. So we see Yuko talk to Nozomi about Mizure, and because apparently everyone kind of feels like there's this weird tension between them, and
Yeah.
like they're having trouble communicating, and I think it's because Nozomi, she just like doesn't think anyone likes her, which again just like doesn't make sense for the character that we know already from the first two
Well,
seasons, but
okay.
whatever.
Counter to that one, I could understand her reasoning to it if you remember the first season,
That is true. That's
because
right.
of the
There
fact
was
that she
oh
quit.
yes, that's right. She quit and came back. So yeah,
She
I can
quit and came back,
understand why she
and Nozomi. Everyone thought that Mizure would get sick and hated Nozomi.
yes.
So it was one of those where, because of that, she kind of felt when she came crawling back to the club that everyone kind of like just hated. So that part I understood a little more from that side of things from watching the anime, but that's literally only kind of somewhat kind of light that it was kind of like shed any differently. It was just a little bit of that.
So we jump back to the book where we see Liz is taking care of a girl, and this girl is the
Yep.
symbol of the bluebird, right? And you just see this girl now just very curious about things, and we see them bonding together. And then Liz asks her to stay by her side forever. And then that's kind of again done with the storybook part there. I don't know if you have much more to add than that.
That's literally all it is from the story.
That's
It's just
right.
the bluebird comes to life to become the friend for the lonely girl, and then it just kind of showcases the two of them playing together. That's generally it. And then it goes back to the main story where again it's showcasing more of Mizore missing out on things from being shy and just really not wanting to talk to anybody again or still.
She doesn't fill out her career survey. She doesn't want to participate in PE like Jimu,
Yeah.
which I can agree. It's fine. Like,
Oh,
I
but you had,
don't
but
want
yeah,
to
you
do that.
had your reasons.
I
You
was
had your
busy. No,
reasons.
I was busy with the I was busy with student council, so it's different, right? I had
Yeah,
something I was
because
actually doing.
you had to
Just
constantly
she was
book
being
yourself
lazy.
during. Yeah, you just had to book yourself
It
during
wasn't
gym
my
class
fault
every
it
time.
happened like that. I had no saying in why it happened like that.
That's a liar.
So we see the girls. The only time we ever really have interactions with other girls or the other students
Mhm.
in this movie is just like idle gossip that honestly means nothing at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
Like nothing they talk about was significant to the story, the plot, like nothing. And if you listened to our previous episodes of Sound Euphonium, you will hear us say a lot. Girls were talking, it was idle gossip. There wasn't much to make note of. And that happened a lot throughout the series, and it happens in this movie as well
Yeah.
for no reason. I don't understand why. I felt like they wasted time here for something else that they could have actually put in that was a bit more useful. But that's just kind of my opinion on
No,
it.
it's the same. We both had the same criticism. Like I said, I found the first season was well done. I found half of the second season was well done, and then it just took a nosedive from there. Where it's like the second half of of season two, the beginning of season three, up until a specific point, it was all the same. It was just banal garbage and just chit chat for story stuff that didn't matter.
Garbage drama, like over the top garbage drama that didn't need to happen.
Well, and that's
And then
exactly it.
it was saved by like the last 3 episodes, thankfully.
Yeah, yeah.
But mm. So
And,
we
and
find out like
again, it could have been
Mizrahi
so
is
much higher. And it could have been so much higher if they
that's the
actually
thing,
paced it out properly, right?
right? And if you are if you are someone who listens to this podcast, like a lot of our episodes, we thank you so much. But you will also hear us say that a lot too. Is like this anime
Yeah,
was very good, but small changes could have made it a great anime. So
yeah.
that's kind of one of our catchphrases. I almost want to say, honestly, because we say it so often, but it's true. A lot of these animes are very good, and just a few little things that I don't think are that hard to change that could have made these like
No.
really like actually
Well,
fantastic
again,
anime.
like you have like a whole episode dedicated to a character's backstory that you don't see before and you don't hear again from afterwards.
Him.
But they do it for a few characters, right? It's not
Well,
just
that's
him,
the
but
thing.
they
Yeah,
do it
they
for a
do. They
couple.
yeah
So it's like,
yeah. You're talking about like
what are we even doing?
Moto
Yeah, yeah. But I'm
Moto.
like, again,
Yeah,
if they just eliminated that, nothing would have changed in the story, and they would have had more time to do other things in the story,
like showcase the music a little bit more.
like actually properly pace things like that, right?
Or like see them practicing a bit more. But yeah. So anyway, going
Yeah.
back to the movie here, Mizure like you see Mizure kind of fantasizing about Nozomi a little bit here, and then it
Hmm.
jumps right back to the storybook where Liz and the mysterious girl get into bed together, and we see the girl kind of wake up and fly away,
Yeah,
symbolizing, right?
she's sneaking out at night, yearning for the freedom, right? Because she's feeling
Hmm.
like I'm just with this girl every day, and it's
Like
like I
trapped,
want
right?
I want more. I don't want to do the same routine every day. I want the freedom to fly and the freedom to do things, right?
Exactly. But then she returns before Liz wakes up, right? And
Yeah.
obviously we know that yes, this girl is the representation of the blue bird, and then Liz wakes up realizing that the girl is gone. After the night, they have a discussion about like because like the bluebird girl asks this, oh well, what are you doing for winter? And she's like, why would I go anywhere? I stay right here, right? Because you like birds fly south for winter and stuff like that. So like obviously
Yep.
the bird is just like, well, I can't really stay, don't really want to stay here, right? Um, and then the
Yeah.
bluebird is back upon when Liz wakes up the next morning, right? The bluebird is back. So um, and then we jump back to Misery, unless you had something else to add in the storybook there.
Nope. That's it.
Okay.
No, it's the
It's like
same. Like that's
making sure I
literally all that
caught everything,
happens.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, there wasn't really a whole lot that realistically happens in it beyond this, right? So it's not like
Right.
you're missing anything.
So we see Misery is feeding Fishy, Puffer Fishy in the classroom and is talking to
Yep.
Satomi, right? Satomi, the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just making sure I get the names right because sometimes I mix them up. Misery and Nozomi talk about signing up for college, and she says that she's going to apply for the same college as Nozomi.
Yeah.
Again, you kind of start getting the Misery is, you kind of get this feeling like Misery is. I don't know if Misery is supposed to be Liz or the Bluebird here. I think
It switches. It switches.
it does. Okay,
So
that's what I was thinking too,
that's the
right? Okay.
problem.
Mm.
So from Mizure's perspective initially, when she's reading through the story, is her symbolism is I'm the lonely girl and Nozomi is the bluebird. Because she's with all of her friends, right? And
Yeah, you're right.
Mizure feels
Seems like she's so like empowering and can just like she just feels like she does whatever she wants, right? Like you said,
right.
she's free. Exactly.
Like you're the free spirit, I'm the one who's just the shy loner, right? But
Mm-hmm.
as the story progresses, Mizure realizes through Nozomi's actions that, and the symbolism is that no, you're actually the bluebird, and I've been the one holding you back. And
Exactly.
it switches. It switches later on, right? So you get the double symbolism with it as the story progresses. But as you said,
So,
she's applying for music college.
and then Misery is just sitting there playing piano as Yuko, Natsuki, and the four of them kind of talk about the future,
Yeah.
like kind of together. Like, okay, well, how are we going to be like? How's our relationship going to be after high school? And kind of everyone's just talking about where they're going and what they're doing, sort of thing, right? So they make plans to go to the festival together, yeah?
Yeah. The Agata Festival.
Yeah. Uh, I put in my notes, I don't have much to talk about for the next few minutes of the movie. I would say I just don't feel like the characters aren't really acting like themselves. I don't know if I missed anything. Maybe you want to say something here?
There's not much. Like, again, as you're going through, you see where it's more like it's starting to showcase more of like the discourse between the two of them. Because Taki takes note of their sound is off. Like the two of them aren't sounding in sync or in line. And you can start to feel again that like, okay, maybe they're starting to kind of like separate a little bit, right? They're starting to feel it. And then you see others, it's a weird concept to me because others are asking her, because they're talking to her a lot about her intentions and why she's applying for music school. And they're like, are you just applying because Nozomi's applying?
And she kind of says yes.
Yeah, because she's like, is that weird? But in my head, I'm like, this girl is sitting at her desk, carving and making her own reeds by hand.
Yeah.
And you're asking her, like, oh, do you actually like music or are you just doing it because of her? It's like,
That is true, yeah.
it's like clearly she likes it herself. It's like she may be using me like Nozomi as a crutch to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like get her through emotionally, but you can tell that it's there and the talent's there and all of this stuff, right? So it's kind of like it's a little bit kind of like weird, especially when you realize in the first season that Nozomi had actually quit and Mizore did not.
It's so weird. Like I know I said it like a bunch of times already, but honestly, like Mizure quit, right? Was it Mizure?
No, Nozomi.
No, Nozomi. Like Nozomi from the anime and the Nozomi in this movie feel like totally different characters. It's
Yep,
crazy how they act so different, and I think that's
I
my
know.
number one problem I have with this entire movie. It
No,
just
that's
makes
exactly it.
no sense.
Because like she's talking about it here, where it's like she feels she can't do music without without Nozomi. But like you
Mhm.
literally went through a whole year without her. So I'm like,
Yeah. No,
I don't.
exactly, right? It's like, what are we doing here?
And furthermore, they also said that she was already going to be applying for the music school anyway
Yeah.
before Nozomi. So again, I'm like, before she even came crawling back to the group. So again, I'm
Yeah,
like,
'cause they mentioned that in the anime, right?
yeah. So I'm like, again, I'm like, I don't understand where we're going with this. Like, why they switch it up so badly? Is they could have done the same narrative without changing things up this badly. Or like you said, do it as a prequel.
They really could have. Yeah, it should have been prequel. I think that
Yeah,
was the biggest mistake they make
yeah.
from my
And then
perspective.
showcasing after Mizure gives her the push, or as Nozomi gives Mizure the push and quits, because that does happen in the first year,
Mm-hmm.
and then showcasing her coming out of her shell, both musically and personality wise, that would have made sense
Yeah,
leading
it would
into
make
the anime.
way more sense. Absolutely, right?
So yeah, so again, it comes back. Um,
We see that Nozomi invites Mizure to the pool,
yep.
and she invites Yuko. Like they end up again. They all just end up going to pool again. Like all of them. It's if you watch the anime, it's the same.
They go like
The,
every year, basically, by the looks of it.
which is fine. Another problem that I no, I actually don't have that. That's not a problem, right? Because like in high school, like you probably do this. Like I don't know, people try to do the same thing with their friends. Like at a certain time each year, like oh, you're gonna go to your festival with your friends, if unless you have dato. But the datos are scary, so I don't know. And then
What are festivals? I don't know.
festivals
we
are.
we don't have 100 of them a day here, so I don't.
Don't worry, Japan only has over 3,000 unique festival a year. Just relax. You can go almost any day of the year. I'm pretty certain at a certain time every day, at least one city is probably throwing a festival.
Oh yeah,
I don't actually know if
easily.
that's true, but that would be really interesting to see. Maybe when I get enough money, I will see if I can hit a Japanese festival every single day of the year. That is my task. That's my
You
goal
should.
in life.
You should do a vlog. Blossom travels.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, that's how we're gonna get popular, not like by doing this garbage podcast.
Wow!
Oh, oh,
Wow!
sorry,
Wow!
sorry.
Oh, you know we were
Let's be
recording.
honest. Let's be honest. We average like 3 viewers. Like, it's okay. No one actually even listens to this. Like, we could just say we could just say whatever we want. No one actually sits here and listens to this, right?
Chat, we're
Right?
breaking the fourth wall here. We're gonna do confirmation chat.
Wait, there's four. I already have two walls here. Look to the left and to the right. Okay, we're getting off track. So yeah, you see Taki going back to making corrections, and then Nozomi and Yuko talk a bit. And they like, oh yeah, but they talk about as well. They bring it up again where Reina even says like, I don't think Nozomi is in sync with Mizure, and it kind of
Yeah,
becomes like this whole thing with like the whole group is kind of everyone's kind of noticing this sort of thing now.
yeah.
Um,
And the problem is like, so Nozomi kind of gave Mizure the idea of reading the book Liz and the Bluebird to kind of help connect with the musical piece that they're doing.
the group, yes.
And the problem with Mizure is she's struggling with understanding why Liz would let the Bluebird go.
Mhm.
Like, she was in love with this Bluebird. This was her only friend. This was the only person she connected with. Why would she willingly let her go and actively like push her away? So she's kind of struggling with this idea and this concept, and and again, you're getting the sense of her own relationship, right? Where she's making the connection of, with me and you, it's like Liz and the Bluebird. It's like, to me, you're my only friend. It's kind of the same thing with Liz, right? Like, the Bluebird was her only friend. So it's like, why would she willingly let her only friend go? Because she's struggling with the concept of letting Nozomi go at any point, right?
Right. So, we are back to where Nozomi thinks Mizure is avoiding her, and then Mizure is just like, no, you. The thing is, you always like, we learned this too back in the anime. It was like she always practiced by herself, right? She was always kind of distant from everyone, right? That's not
Yeah,
really something completely new here either. And we see them practice a bit more, and there's still a disconnect between the flute and the oboe duet, which is the two instruments that they are playing.
yeah,
And then at the end of practice, Nozomi, Mizure kind of gives hug invitation to Nozomi, and Nozomi she just kind of turns it down. She just kind of is like, no. She just kind of walks off.
yeah, and that was
Kind
again
of plays,
something that,
and she makes note about it too. She's like, she makes note that it's like kind of a weird thing to be doing, right? She's like, oh well,
well,
why do you want
and
that?
that's just
I'm not
it.
gonna really do that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it was something that they did before, and it was more like a comfort thing of like, she also heard other girls talking about it, which would be some of the other ones, because Kumiko and Kumiko and Kosuka do it all the time, right? They kind of
Mhm.
showcase that they're still friends and they're still kind of like, there's still love, there's still familiarity there, right? And
It's
her
almost like a
turning it
test of
down,
how strong is our bond still,
right? And
and
that's
it
just it, right?
kind of showed that there has been a bit of a rift, more distance being placed between them. It seems was the
And
symbolism I was
again,
getting.
it's going back to her feelings initially, like deep down, that her feelings she has strongly is like, I may be like, to you, you're my only friend, but to you, I'm not your only friend. You have others, right?
Like, yeah,
And
exactly.
and again, to her, it's like she's feeling that again, like you said, that disconnect, because for her, it's like, I'm still here. I want you to be my only friend, and you're kind of pushing me away in a certain sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as she's going through, she starts to understand more of their role in the story, right? Where she's like, okay, she's starting to piece it together that she's actually the Bluebird, and she's not actually Liz.
Yes,
She's the Bluebird herself,
exactly. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And and that kind of thing, right? So she's really trying to kind of get her out of her shell and like say stuff that's familiar, like, what is it you love? What is it you like about me? Like, share these details with me. Like, I need to know these things, right?
But yeah, that's very important here too, because this is where like Nozomi really starts wondering about if she really wants to be joining music school, and then Mizure wants to play in a way that conveys Liz's feelings right from the book,
Yeah.
knowing she can't let go of something that she loves, and this is kind of where Mizure realizes like Liz struggles with letting go of something that she loves, and this is kind of where Mizure is also like the same thing, right? Like she is struggling to kind of let Nozomi go, right?
But she's also feeling that we're now standing at this fork in the road, right?
Yes.
Where it's like
It's like we're
I want to go right and she wants to go left, and we
Mhm.
know that our paths are going to be separate, right?
Exactly
And
so. Yeah.
she's starting to get that feeling, right? And she's starting to really understand where they're truly going.
Well, yeah, that's very important too, because literally it showcases Liz finally learns to let the bluebird go free in the book, right? And then so it jumps back to Mizure about and like that's the thing is Mizure needs to understand the decision by both the bluebird and Liz, right? Because the bluebird could decide to stay also, right? Like just
Yeah.
because Liz is giving freedom to the bird doesn't have to actually leave. So it's more
Well, that's exactly it.
you have to understand both decisions by both Liz and the Bluebird here, right? So that's
Yeah.
kind of where Mizure she needs to learn why both uh Liz and the Bluebird end up choosing the path that they had to choose. Like Liz was able to finally let go of something that she loved, and the Bluebird was able to be eternally grateful for the time she spent with Liz, but knowing that the bird has its own path or its own freedom to take, right? So that's kind of sort of um the symbolism that I took from this
Yeah.
plot here.
Yeah.
And then
No,
both
and
Mizue
that's
and
exactly
oh
it.
sorry, and I like this part too because this is kind of like the most important part of the movie, where both Mizure and Nozomi are reflecting on the book and they're kind of
Yeah.
talking to each other about who is who, sort of thing, right? Um, yeah, I don't know if you have any more about this like little
And
conversation
that's
between
just
them
it.
here.
It's
Go more in depth if you
and
want.
that's exactly it. Like Nosby is sharing her perspective on things now,
Hmm.
where she's like, I can see from you may not see it from a personality standpoint, but I see it from a musicality standpoint. Is where musically you're more talented than me. Musically, you have more options than me. And I don't want to hold you back because I don't want to do music. And I know if I tell you this, you're just going to try to not do music and you're going to want to follow me. And I don't want to, again, back to Liz, where I'm feeling like I'm holding you back from your freedom. Where, you're looking out the window and you're looking at the world and you want to fly, but you're waiting for me to open the window, right? That's more of kind of like what I kind of took from it is like you're waiting for me to let you know it's okay to do the music, right? And that's where she's pointing out to her, it's like, in that sense, this is why you're the bluebird, and this is why you're not Liz. And it's like, I know from your point, you're thinking because you're the lonely girl, you're Liz, but that's not the case.
Which leads into like the next day at band, right? They continue practicing for nationals, and again, it really showcases the song that they're practicing, which I really enjoy. And then Nozomi believes here, like she truly believes that she's been holding Mizure back from flying free
Yeah,
in a way,
yeah,
realizing that she isn't as talented as her, and she doesn't believe that they can make it into the same cottage. And then I really like the conversation here that Mizure and her have, where Mizure kind of confesses that she wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for Nozomi, and kind of gives her a hug in a way, like she's basically confessing her love, sort of here. But I don't. Again, a lot of the symbolism throughout this anime is like a lot of girls hug and tell each other they love each other, but it's not like I don't know
this
if
one
it's
is
more like
less.
admiration. No, this one was
This
more actual love, I think, than the other ones.
I Okay, I don't know. This one was more of I took this one here more as friendship love,
Okay,
where I found
yeah,
with
that's
Kosuka
what I.
and Kumiko, their
Well,
line
no,
was a little bit more blurred.
Reina loves Taki,
She
obviously.
does, but you can also tell, and there's that tension. There's that weird tension between the two of
Yeah,
them.
you know where he's 20 years older than her, but
Not just
like
not them, but like between Kosuka and Kumiko. Like there's
Kumiko.
that weird tension where it's like, she's playfully like sliding they're sliding their fingers along their lips and tenderly rubbing cheeks and stuff. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of blurred
and they're
moments
meeting like together in like very secluded areas, and they have some of the most deep conversations throughout the entire anime, right?
while they're nose to nose and like staring at each other's eyes and stuff, right? Like there's a
There were so
lot
many
of like
times where I'm
really
like, oh
like
my god, I thought they were gonna kiss it. Like, oh,
th-
I swear.
that's exactly it, right? Like you
Backstage, right
get
before they went on, like all these times, right?
there's a lot of moments like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like with those two, the line is a little bit more blurred with those two. But for me, I found with these ones here, I found it was a lot more of that friendship, admiration kind of love, more than it was like anything romantic in any kind of sense. I
That's
never took
where
it
I'm
anything as
really
romantic.
okay. I was also feeling that where like she was confessing her love to her as like friendship,
Yeah,
admiration,
yeah.
kind of
Like
thing.
I
Yes.
actually I really love you as a childhood friend. Like I really love you as a friend. Like I really need you in my life, kind of thing. It's more along the lines of like what I took it as, like that kind of thing, right? Like I can't do anything without you
I will say I
because
think
you're.
that's just like this is gonna be like completely out of the blue, but this is one thing I hate girls do often. Like we tell each other we love each other all the time, and it's just like
Yeah,
you say it enough, it's just empty words at a certain point. Like
yeah.
you don't actually love these people. Like let's be honest, right? And like high school girls do it all the time. They hug and they
Oh, I
tell
know.
their friends they love them. It's like okay, but
Yeah,
if your friend was actually in trouble, realistically, how far would you be willing to go for them? Because that's
yeah.
really where like actual love kind of comes into play. So I think that word is thrown around like it's lost its meaning, I think, over time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Like it's just
you're not
not what
wrong
it
on a
used to
lot of
mean
that
at all.
stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I know that has nothing to do with the anime, but it's just a real world problem that I overhear like when I'm walking and stuff like that, and I see like girls together and it's like, oh yeah, I love you, or I love this about you, and it's just like, do we really like we've lost the meaning of the word love? Like let's dial it back a bit, right? But anyway, sorry. Compl- Nozumi just responds with a thank you and kind of walks away. Like Nozumi really doesn't
He's
embrace
in a way trying to
the
put distance.
hug. Like she does give the hug back, but it's like very. She just did it out of consideration and not really
Yeah, it's
like.
a pity hug. It's a pity
Yes,
hug.
it's a
It's a
very,
pity hug.
very, very pity hug. You're right.
Like I said,
Exactly.
you're getting to the point where Nozomi is trying, in a sense, to distance herself in hopes that it pushes her in a way that kind of like break the habit of me. Like I see other
Exactly.
girls wanting to interact with you. I see other girls trying to talk with you. Like go do stuff. Like break away, right? And it's like that hope. If I stop talking to you, they'll just leave eventually. If
Mhm.
I make it awkward, they'll just leave eventually, right?
So yeah, and here we get a small flashback of Nozumi's first meeting with Mizure, and she's
Yeah.
asking her to join the concert band, and Mizure goes to the band room to practice, and Nozumi goes to the library to study, and this is kind of like the first symbolism of where the two paths start. You see the two paths mixing together, and then we also see the symbolism of the bluebird flying away, where like now their
Yeah.
paths actually split here, right?
Yeah.
Um, where they kind of start doing things by themselves in a way as the movie starts is coming towards an end here. We see them. Do you have anything else before I jump into the ending?
No. No.
Okay. We see them walking together near the end, right? And then Nozumi asks for a bit more time before answering her. and the movie ends with them deciding to go get ice cream. Um, and that's kind of it. So like I understand the symbolism. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have a hard time understanding this movie, but we're only 45 minutes into recording, and we've also spent a lot of idle time talking about things that weren't about the movie because honestly, there's just so many things about this movie that just did not happen. Like I don't know how long was the movie. How long was this movie? Like an
It's like an
hour?
hour and a half. Hour and a
Like
half.
almost an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
I like I want to say for like a good 30 minutes, nothing actually happens in this movie.
Well, again, there's like a lot of idle
Like
chit chat. Like they go through several minutes of like people talking to her while she like carves her, reeds. Like there's a couple moments where it's like that,
right.
and then there's like other chit chat where it's like a few minutes of like like you said, girls chattering, and then like again just whispering. Like you don't even hear anything; it just whispers, right? And like
Like
giggles,
yeah,
and
and
then
then you hear like background music and stuff like that, which is nice. Like the
you hear
background music
background
is
music, and then
good.
you hear people like asking like, "How do I be friends with with Nozomi? Like, how do I actually befriend her?"
Mm-hmm.
In those kind of things, and I find it
That
is
were explored, but never really like
yeah.
nothing ever transpired. And again, that happened a lot in the season 3 of the anime, where it's like, oh, this character, you learn about it. Okay, well, this character is completely irrelevant for the rest of the series. It's like, why?
Well, and that's exactly it. It's like they're there for that one moment, and then they're done. And
And the
again,
problem is that was the year they were graduating, so like I don't
yeah,
understand why girls were like, "Oh, well, I want to be friends with her now, even though she's like graduating in like a few months." It's like, what? Like
I know.
I don't know.
Or
I just
or
felt
the
like that was a
girls
little
like,
bit out of place too.
or the girl who was crying like, "Oh, I really wanted to play. I really wanted to play with you this year." It's like, why? She never talked to you. Like, why are you so like? I can understand like saying like I admire you so much that I wanted to play with you, but like in a certain sense, it's like it's weird when you're like crying and like so hardcore depressed about this when it's like you've never played.
You barely talk to her. That's the
Yeah,
thing
that's
too.
what I
Is like
mean.
you're not like friends with her. You barely talk to her. You don't even know her. Like come on. Like what are we doing here? Like what are we actually doing? Sometimes. So. Yeah, in
Well,
the
that's
end,
exactly it.
basically, like, like, in the end, like, Liz does release the Bluebird because she loves it and wants what's best for the bird's future, right? And we
Yeah,
see Nozomi lets Mizure know that she wants her to continue in the music college, and she's been realizing she's been holding her back, like I said before, from her full potential and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
again, it's like their story, obviously, Liz and the Bluebird is a lot like Nozomi and Mizure, and I guess it's kind of up to interpretation on who you think is who, but for the most part, I really think that Nozomi is like Liz, and Mizure is definitely the Bluebird for
yeah. Oh yeah.
most of it. From like the
Well, like I
main
say,
big
like early on, you
perspective.
can make the connection. Like you can make the connection early on because again, the lonely girl, the wild, free, bird. You can get the symbolism behind it, right? You really can. Um, but like you said, as the story progresses, you're like, oh no, she's actually the bird, and you do get that sense, and you do get the feeling, and they really do drive it home, especially later on in the movie.
Hmm. Okay, so I don't have much more to say about this movie, so I'm just gonna give my
No,
score for the movie.
yep,
I gave it a 6.8. I just think it was like not very good. Like I'll watch the anime series again at some point potentially, but I don't think I'm gonna ever watch this movie again. It's not like it's not important to the main story
no,
at
it
all.
isn't. No,
Um, and like I said, the way the characters acted different, also just kind of was like, I'm not really a big fan of that either.
no,
There's just a lot of things I didn't like about this movie, and it took away a lot of what made the anime great, which is like the abundance of background characters. Which is funny because these are kind of two background characters more. They are more like background characters in the main show. Um and I don't mind them
Yeah.
getting the spotlight, but I just felt like the way they did it was just not good. I just
Well,
don't know what
no,
to say.
and that's exactly it.
No.
Now, I will be honest. This honestly probably was the largest gap we had. We have.
Okay.
So initially, when I first watched this, because I watched this a while ago, because again I watched it before we even watched any of the other stuff. So when I watched this, I initially gave it because again I liked the artistic story. I liked the story of how they were telling it. I liked a lot of the stuff around it. So for me, I had it at a 7.8
Okay.
initially. After watching the anime, though, like you
Mhm.
say, because they changed so much. Again, the art style, the way they did the art style, the way the characters were portrayed, the way that everyone was acting, just everything we know about things, right? For me, it definitely lowers the score when you watch it because again of how much they change everything. So I mean, I ended up dropping it down to like a 7.1.
Yeah, I mean that's only 0.3 difference from me.
Yeah,
So we're still like
yeah.
relatively close with our
But
scores.
I'm saying if
But
we take my original score,
oh, if you took
like
the
I said,
original
that's where
score,
it's like. But that's what I mean. Like if we were watching it on a whole without watching the anime, it's definitely much higher. But like I say, when you're taking it in the
so
context of
I
the
think
anime,
I will
there's
say I
just so
think you're
much.
right. Where if I was basing it off of if I watched it standalone, I
Yeah,
probably would have given it like a 7 point something,
yeah,
7.2 or
yeah.
something. Which again, yeah, we both dropped it by a fair decent amount of points
Yeah.
because of the tie to the anime. So,
Well, again, it's because they changed so much. If they didn't change so much of it, it wouldn't be that bad. But again, they changed way too much of it. And like you said, they don't tie it in so much, like so well that you're like, I don't. Yeah, it throws you off, and it's just so annoying in a lot of sense because you're looking at it like I just don't understand why they did it this way. Especially
exactly.
considering that
So
this was made after the anime.
that's another thing too,
So it's like they
which
already
is
had
another
all the
factor.
information
Yeah,
and they still chose to wrote it this way. And I think in a lot of ways they're trying that fake trying to do that fake conflict, right? That to get things going. But again, it's like yeah, I didn't quite enjoy a lot of it.
see, so sometimes like I'll read people like they'll like be like, "Oh, this anime is like fantastic, like really really good. This movie's like really really good," and then I watch it and I'm just like, I don't think it was that good. And then like you see a discourse of people like just a bunch of an abundance of people. I mean, just saying like, "Oh my god, it's so good, right? It's so good." Like, but you still can't understand why people are loving it, and it's not like, "Oh, this wasn't like my kind of anime." Like, no, this is definitely the kind of anime I like, right? It's like a slice
Yeah,
of
yeah,
life kind of like anime, right? I like I said, we both really enjoyed the anime. We gave it our overall score for the anime. Our average, right, between all three seasons, mine was like an 8.1 because I gave two
yeah.
8.2s and then one 8.0. So like 8.1 will probably be my overall score for the actual anime series, not including this obviously because this would drag it down into 7 point like something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like it's not like, oh well, this is my kind of anime. Like, no, these are the kind of animes we both really enjoy, right? It's just something
Yeah.
about the difference between the art style and, like we said, the characters. Just there's too many differences, and like you even mentioned, like they had all the information and they still chose to just write it like this, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like at all.
No, exactly.
No. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think it's it for
So
today's episode.
yeah, we are ending a little bit early, but that is okay. We
Yeah, we
hope
got hockey
you
stuff to watch. We got hockey stuff to watch.
don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. Actually, it's okay. You know why? No one's probably even listened to this far into the episode anyway. So, but if for some reason you did make it this far, we thank you so much for you listening. Please give this video wherever you are watching it a like. It would really help us out. Comment things we can do better. If we did good on certain things, feel free to say that too. If we were just flat out terrible and you hated us, please send that too, because that's never like we want criticism too. Criticism is fun. Anyway, follow us on all of our socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. YouTube and TikTok are bigger ones, so always check out those.
Yeah. Also follow Blossom on Twitch. Follow her on Twitch.
Stream on Twitch. I really would love and appreciate the follows. Playing through a bunch of different games that hopefully can reach different kind of audience. So stop by there, check out my schedule, and if I'm playing a game that you enjoy, or you just want to spend more time with me and you want to hear my voice more, always drop in there. I'm doing things on YouTube. We're doing our shorts, of course. So just follow us, follow us, and if you really like our stuff, please share with your friends, share with your family people who like anime, people who like video games. I would really appreciate that, because I want to kind of make this I'm working on making this kind of like my livelihood. So, yeah, I would love the feedback. Feedback is very important because I want to make sure that I do my bro bestie, of course. So
Exactly. Join the circus, everyone. Be a part of the circus.
You can you can join our circus.
You can watch the two clowns.
Exactly. We probably next month, I think we will be opening up a Discord server, maybe. I'm not 100% certain of that, but I think we will be doing that soon.
Yeah,
so it'd be
kind of
good
keeping your ear out.
Yeah, exactly. And we like comments. We like to interact with you guys listening and stuff like that. So I know I've been talking about this sort of thing for like a long time. So I'm just going to get out of here before I embarrass myself even more. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.